Hey, this is Mark Tremonti from Tremonti, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Synth.
Hello, Moshpit Masters. This is Stefan from the Moshpit on Synth. On the line, we have a guitar powerhouse. This gentleman has been the lead guitarist in Creed, Alter Bridge, and is currently both shredding and singing in his solo band, Tremonti. Mr. Mark Tremonti, welcome to the Moshpit.
Thank you so much.
This first question, so many of the dudes you are working with are in other bands, so if you could help us get a sense of what's going on. So you're working on Tremonti stuff while touring, I think, and you just said today that you were recording stuff with Alter Bridge. Miles was touring with Slash, or maybe he's not touring with Slash. Slash is with Guns N' Roses. Well, he was with Guns N' Roses, but now Axl is with AC/DC. So I just want to ask, basically right now you're not touring with Tremonti, you're recording with Alter Bridge. Is that what's going on? Can you make some sense for us?
I'm recording right now with Alter Bridge, but I'm getting ready to go on tour just as soon as I'm done here. So in about 2 weeks, I head over to Europe for a Tremonti tour.
Is this just another Alter Bridge recording session, or is this the final one, or will there be more?
This will be it. We'll start mixing in probably 2 weeks.
Awesome. So now you have a new album out with your solo band Tremonti called Dust, and only last year you released Cauterize. So how is Dust different from Cauterize? Because these songs were recorded during the same sessions.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. I just wanted to split up both records as evenly as possible. So far the response, though, is people seem to enjoy this record more than Cauterize for some reason, but I'm happy to hear it. You know, split up the heavy songs, split up the more chill, atmospheric songs, and keep the strongest songs on split up as evenly as possible as well.
Your solo band hasn't toured Australia, correct me if I'm wrong, but is there plans to bring your shows down under?
We would sure love to. We were trying to. I think it was on the first album cycle, but we ran into some problems with getting on the festivals, and then we got an offer last minute, and we couldn't do it.
So with these two solo records, touring and working on the fifth Alter Bridge album, so just how intense is your work schedule, and does it physically and mentally wear you out?
Right about now, it's been really tough because I've been promoting one record and recording another and touring with one, and then right after we tour next month, we go right back on tour with Alter Bridge. So there's just a lot to take in at the moment. I'm just trying to work as hard as I can to make sure both bands and both albums get their fair amount of a push.
Is there anything you can tell us about the Alter Bridge album that you've been recording?
We've recorded 14 tracks. We have a little bit of something for everybody. I think it's got a lot of different sounds, different feels, different vibes on each song. So we're happy with it. So
is it frustrating to deal with all the schedules for all the bands that you're a part of?
I mean, it gets tough sometimes, but I'd rather do this than have a desk job doing what I was going to college for. I would have probably been an accountant or something. I'm happy with my choice to do the music thing and work hard on two bands.
So it's time away from Alter Bridge and then, time away from Tremonti stuff. Does that make returning to those projects more fresh and fun?
Yeah, exactly. I think it really makes us real excited to get back together and try and reinvent ourselves each and every time.
Now, you've been loved and hated, possibly more so than most musicians out there. The critics panned Creed and early Alter Bridge, and then the recent Alter Bridge stuff received critical acclaim, and all your solo stuff has been widely praised. Total Guitar ranked you like the fourth greatest metal guitarist of all time, and Blackbird, in my opinion, has one of the greatest solos I've ever heard in my life. So does it feel strange to be, at one point in time, the most hated artist, and then, I guess right now, the most loved?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some ups and downs for sure, but I wouldn't change a thing,
So is the fate of Creed still up in the air?
Well, right now I'm just way too busy to do anything outside of Tremonti and Alter Bridge, so it's, I never say never, but, the next few years it's an impossibility.
So just how different is your approach to writing a great riff to when writing a great solo?
When I write a solo, I try to make it a song within a song. I try to make it stand on its own as a melody within itself that has a beginning, a mid, and an end, and a theme. With a riff, it can I just try and hammer through something that can be repeated and can either bookend a melodic part or just stand on its own as a musical piece.
You've called the Blackbird song off the Alter Bridge record of the same name your greatest song ever that you've ever worked on. Like I said, one of my favourite solos of all time. But what do you think is the all-time greatest Tremonti riff, either on Alter Bridge or Creed or on your Tremonti albums? Or maybe any collaborations you've done?
It's hard for me to say. It's it's hard to narrow it down to one. It depends on my mood, I guess.
Cauterize and Dust. Well, what are your personal favorite riffs on those albums?
I'd say the riff to Flying Monkeys is probably my favorite riff off the first album for sure. Off this album, I'd say the bridge to Catching Fire has some of my favorite riffs in it.
Awesome. Now, has your guitar playing evolved over the years? And how has your guitar playing evolved over the years and through the many projects that you've done?
I keep trying to hunt down new guitar tunings. Every time I find a new tuning, I will kind of reinvent myself and open new doors to songwriting. So it's evolved in a way where I've become familiar with more and more tunings over the years. And then as far as the lead guitar playing goes, I'm always trying to learn as much new material as possible to add, more and more knowledge to my playing. So I have a bigger vocabulary when I'm trying to write a solo.
So you've been working with Wolfgang Van Halen, the son of, obviously one of the greatest guitarists of all time. What's it like working with him?
It's great. He's a fantastic musician, and he can handle anything you throw at him. He's a very technically proficient player, and he's the best of the best at what he does.
Now, when you've come to Australia multiple times through Alter Bridge and Creed, so what do you think of the Australian live audiences?
We love it. We love everything about Australia, other than the flight over there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people, and the crowds are always fantastic.
Are you disappointed that Soundwave's gone under? Because you've played that, I think, a couple of times with Alter Bridge.
Yeah, it's a real big disappointment. It was. We had a lot of fun when we came down there and did it. It's a shame it went away.
I read this on Ultimate Guitar this morning. Is Slash with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators opening for Guns N' Roses?
No, that's nonsense.
Awesome, heard it here first. Do you have a favorite song off Dust?
The title track, Dust, is my favorite.
Oh yeah, I love that as well. I was listening to Catching Fire, I think it's called, and your vocals I find I think have really hit up a notch on that song. So how do you approach like the vocals in your records, and with that song in particular, is there something really emotional within that song?
Well, that song it's not quite in my wheelhouse. I wish it was a little higher in the verses, but I couldn't make it any higher because the chorus was already at the peak of my vocal range. So I had to really kind of force myself to get some grit on those verse vocals, because it's always hard to add that aggression to your voice when you're singing low. So that was a big challenge for me on that song. But I guess it just worked out in the end.
Was it challenging for you to sing on the first album, or has singing been something you've been practicing, I guess, your entire life?
I've been a songwriter since I was 11 years old, so I've always been singing to myself, but I just never felt like my ideas would see their full potential with me singing them. I always thought I had to have somebody else that was a better singer sing my parts that I had written or my songs, because I didn't want them to, not be heard. So I always paired up with guys that could sing better than me, and now I just feel like I've done it so many years now, I just wanted to go ahead and do it myself.
Tremonti's latest studio offerings, Cauterize and Dust, are out now, so look out for a new Alter Bridge album later in the year. Thanks so much for joining us, Mark, and I hope to see you around Australia soon.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.